It should be loading now. Okay. Okay, I think we're good. We're on now. All right, perfect. Started. There we go. Okay. All right, you guys good? Are we good?
We're good.
I'm waiting for your page to show the live video, and then I'll.
Oh, can you forward it to your, is that how you do it? How
Oh,
does
no,
it
no, no.
work?
I just made a post to my page that, hey, we're going live on Heather's page in 3 minutes.
Oh, cool.
And I put the link to your YouTube channel.
All right, sweet. Let's see. Okay, we have a couple people on. Hello, hello. Happy Good Friday.
Where's the on your page looking for the live video?
Okay, I see it there now. There we go.
I'm always the last to figure something out. Do you go to home page or videos?
All right. Our guest is saying hello, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Happy Friday. All right, it's Casual Friday. So we're just getting situated. Oh my gosh, how was this week, you guys? Like, it was, I don't know about you guys, but it was a little crazy. So today I'm just kind of like taking off the, like, you know, I'm just like chill right now because it was an effed up week. I'm like, oh my gosh, it was just a lot. I think like if you're, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I feel like I'm in a time warp of some sort. Like you're supposed
Yeah.
thinking I'm going to get a bunch of things done and I'm not. It's like,
yeah, it's definitely crazy. A lot going on, and I've had a couple moments of I don't know about you guys, but the shifting of emotions and stuff. Have you? Yeah, I mean, obviously there's going to be, but in general, like I feel like I'm having to kind of come to terms with some of the things that like, and that's part of what like I was thinking with the show is that it's like the not taking life so seriously because we are so critical of ourselves and like we're in a pandemic, y'all. I didn't say the C word, so
Which one's that? I'll say it.
oh,
no, yeah. The last time if you say, sometimes they're doing a little bit of so they might.
I'm multitasking. I was trying to get my Zoom picture over top of the YouTube channel because of that delay. I'm good. I can see comments.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be looking to the side over here, so we'll see.
Nice.
I noticed like a shift in the emotions as well, Heather. Like one day, like I'll wake up and just feeling really grumpy. I'm like, what is this? And I have to really check in. Like, this is not me. I'm underlying a little grumpy person, but like, this is definitely not me. So I have to like really check in, like absorbing all that from the
yeah, for sure. It's there's so much, and I noticed a couple times when I had to go to the store, I get a weird, like you become very aware of how attuned you are to other people's emotions because I felt it a little off, like it was a weird rush of some stuff. But I think when you go into it, like but when you're in your home and you're just sort of picking up on stuff, it's like, like you're not prepared. It's so funny because I think that's the biggest thing. It's like sometimes we take on other people's stuff and we just don't know, like I did a reading yesterday and I don't normally do this, but I invited the gentleman that I knew I needed to connect with to come in, and I went for a walk and everything was great. And I felt the rest of the day, I felt just messed up. And I don't like, I've had that happen a couple times and but again, like, and I should know better because, but I'm like, I invited your energy in and it just messed me up because he wanted me to experience what he experienced in life as a way in which to communicate the reason why he's in a better place. And so it was so important. But so I was at the point where I was like, oh my gosh, something's happened to me right now. I think I was depressed. I was just all these things that I'm like, I know I have some reasons to be, but I'm not. Like, who is this? And so, yeah, you really have to be, I mean, that's where I've like I said, I've kind of been social distancing for quite a few years since I've come into my abilities, because it's really, you have to be really mindful. And I'm telling you, if it's like being sick or not feeling well, if you let your guard down, you'll pick up
You
on
guys are
stuff.
super sensitive, because I have never, literally, maybe once, had to check myself. I can go about my day and not feel anything.
Wow, you're
I
lucky.
don't know what it is. Maybe just I'm a cold-hearted son of a bitch.
No,
usually,
I think everyone's different. I do.
That's why it just.
Yeah, we're all different.
I mean, if I pay attention, maybe, but I'm just a normal grump to begin with, so that is no different. So maybe that's why I don't notice it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I don't know. And maybe like women in general tend to be more emotional, and guys like are more, I don't know, maybe it's that kind of energy. I don't know.
I don't know. I drink a lot. Maybe that does it too.
We need to start drinking more.
I know, right? That might help. I don't know. So yeah, there's
today was, I mean, throughout this, I mean, you guys know I had a kidney transplant, so, but
yeah,
you know, going through with the coronavirus and all that, I mean, basically what people are doing now, that's been my life habit since the transplant. I'm not a germaphobe. I mean, I don't avoid people. Yes, if they're sick, but the washing of the hands, the biggest habit for me at the beginning was learning to keep my hands away from my face.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably 90%. That probably eliminates 90% of the chances of getting something, is learning to keep your hands away from your face, especially when you're out in public. I mean, it takes a little bit of work, but literally, and you know, I shouldn't even say it, knock on wood. You know, I haven't been sick in probably over 10 years. I mean, literally, I can't remember the last time I had a cold. And again, I don't avoid people. I don't do anything different. It's common sense, more or less. But, you know, and I thought it was odd, because after the transplant, I thought I was going to be susceptible to everything. I was fearful of catching a cold because I didn't know how my body would react, having a compromised immune system.
right.
You know, and the way they explained it was just, it's not like my immune system is knocked out, it's just quieted. They kind of balance it to where kidney won't reject and I won't catch colds. You know, it's just that happy medium. But you know, a year went by, flu season, Sheila would get a flu. I wouldn't know it for a few days, so I'm like, oh great, I'm gonna catch it. She would get stomach viruses and I would not get it. So years go by, I'm like, I would constantly talk to the nurses, like, is this normal? And they're like, not really. I'm like, okay, you know.
Good.
So again, I think a lot of it is just that being aware, especially when you're out in public, what you're doing.
Right.
And I think now, because of what's going on, people are going to pay a little closer attention to what they're doing. But today, you know, having to go into the hospital for labs, I put it off for 3 weeks because I was terrified of going in anywhere near there.
Right.
You know, so I finally, I was like, well, I got to do this. So I threw on a mask and went to the ER, you know, checked in, and luckily I was the only one there. You know, this area of the country is not really affected too heavily with what's going on. So, you know, held my breath for 2 hours while I was in there, and actually about an hour. Even though I was the only one there, it took about an hour.
That's impressive.
Anyway, yeah. But
wow.
you know, I got out of there, went home, burned my clothes, you know, just in case there were viruses in them.
Oh my gosh.
But,
that's funny. Wow, one-time use, huh? Yeah, that's awesome. Wow. I know, right? It's hard. It's somewhere in between. I don't it's interesting. I just like, do you be like overly cautious? Do you go one extreme, or is there a middle ground?
Well, that's the thing, you know, I learned this when I was sick, you know, prior to the transplant and all this, you know, I and I've talked about this before, but literally living one day at a time, living in the moment, you know. And it's the same thing with, you know, after my transplant, it was literally a decision again. It's like, do I become this paranoid person that just avoids living?
Right.
You know, because I may catch
yes.
something, you know, and I just went through this procedure to save my life. I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to worry about everything. You know, someday
Right.
something's going to get you. You know, you can't escape it.
Well,
It's literally one of those decisions that I was just like, no, I'm going to use common sense. Yes, I'm going to be aware of things. I'm going to be careful, but I'm going to live my life. I can't live in
yeah.
fear of, I shouldn't do that because something might happen.
Right.
You know?
And that's it's so important because it's funny. I'm kind of like, I step back and look at the, like, I'm just fascinated by like the psychology of everything. Like they were like somebody on the community app that I'm a part of in my neighborhood. They're like, oh my gosh, Costco has toilet paper. And I'm like, oh, good, the social experiment's over. Like, to me, that was literally a social experiment. Like, really, like it was just, that's crazy. Like, I mean, I'm trying to like come up with resolutions for people, you know, if you don't have that, you can use like paper towel. Like it's, it's like, but it's like, that's the mass hysteria and how people think. And it's, you can really get caught up into it. And you're absolutely right. Cause I teeter totter, you know, as my human self, I'm like, oh, I'm a mother, I have to be very responsible and I have to like take care, you know, and be very vigilant. And then the other side is like, you know, fuck it, I'm done. Just like, I can't, because it's too much to be in that space.
Yeah. Right.
And I've like, it's funny because I find that that like, even with myself or people that I'm like, my family, people I'm aware of, when they overextend and go the other direction, it's almost like they beat themselves down, and then they'll end up doing like, they'll find other substances or something that would probably kill them worse than anything else, just to like, just to, you know, like they like, and it's like, okay, is the cure worse than the disease? Like let's figure that out. So it's just fascinating, really.
And it's funny too, because at work, you know, luckily the facility I work at, we only have 5 people in our control tower, and they all know what I've been through. And literally, they're like, they keep it like hospital clean. I'm like, a day or two after, I'm like, look, unless you guys have a cold, unless you literally sneezed or coughed on the console, and I go over there and put my hand on it and lick my hand, or you cough on my face, that's the only way I'm going to get this from you guys. You know, so you got to relax a little bit. You know, you'd walk in the facility and it was like Lysol. My throat would start burning because of the Lysol. And everything was wiped down within an inch of its life. I'm like, look, guys, no, I appreciate it, but my God, you know, take it easy a little bit. You know. I mean, I appreciate what they were doing. They're looking out for me, but I was like, all right, guys, you got to relax. You're going to kill me from the Lysol.
It's definitely somewhere in between. I think that's the biggest thing, is finding that balance to it, because, and I think the biggest thing throughout this, and one of the lessons I'm learning, like, is to be patient with yourself. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but being a mom, and like, I feel like, I don't know, that I'm seeing more of my perfectionist qualities, or the feeling of like, I have to be a certain person. And I mean, one of the biggest things about sort of coming into this space and owning this is rejecting what others think I should be. Like, you know, when you have a child, like, you know, when your child's first born, you're everyone's business. Everyone's all up in like, this is how you're supposed to be a parent. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be doing this. And it's like, we're so critical of ourselves, and we beat ourselves up for being human and part of the human experience. That's what we're here for. Like, there is no freaking handbook on, there's only judgment. There's no handbook on how we are supposed to be. And so it's no different than the human language.
You can't live your life based on what other people may think about you, or how, you know,
do the best you can do. And
I'm me. I can be an asshole, but you know, I have good intentions.
Right.
So,
and I think I don't, and it's funny because I think my husband's like that. Like, he has that, like, again, I feel like there might be something with the masculine where it's like, that's the good, the divine masculine, feminine, kind of the balance of the two. And when you can bring those both in harmony. But I feel like I'm not speaking on behalf of women, but myself, and I've It's funny because as of recent, I've been connecting with some women, and spirit, that's the biggest message they're bringing through. You are way too hard on yourself. Like, I don't know if that's the feeling of like, as mothers, we have to protect and we have to like be perfect. And if our kids get sick, it's our fault. And like, if we get sick, and it can't be that way. I don't know. Amy, what about you? I mean, your kids are a little bit more grown, but I know, I mean, thinking back to when they were younger, everyone's business,
Well,
Oh, no.
I will look for things to worry about. That's just my nature. And I know that I can't control a lot of it. So I have to like meditate and offer things up in prayer. But even when they're older, that mother's like instinct and that mother's worry never ever goes away. In fact, my mom is 85 years old and she still messages me and she worries about me and all my siblings. So it's just one of those things that's innate. And I think that, some mothers, maybe they don't, maybe they're completely different, but I think it's just who I am. And I've often wondered, like, why did I incarnate into this lifetime as such a warrior? I mean, and I've done some crazy stuff myself. And, I was an ER nurse. I've seen some stuff. Like, how did I get through that? And that's when I was pregnant. My kids were young. Like, how did I do that? I don't know.
Yeah.
I worry about everything. I still do. But what's interesting? I don't worry about dying. I worry about suffering.
Right. No, that totally makes sense. But the other thing I'll say too, like when you were talking, that sparked that for me, because I remember some time ago, and I didn't realize this, like I didn't really realize it. Like people can tell me stuff, but when spirit tells me or impresses it upon me, it's like I got it. And the understanding of like when I had my first daughter, I was naive. I didn't have a clue about anything that could go wrong. And the experience was it wasn't, she doesn't worry as much. Like you can look at each one of my children and they really took on all of that. Like my son, at the time he came, it was my third child, and I was worried about everything can go wrong. He worries about everything, and I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't know, like because he took that on. And that's I do believe there's a little bit of ignorance is bliss. I'm sorry. I know that's like some people don't like, they're like, you have to be informed, but I'm like, no, because every time I know something, it's too much. I can't handle it. I can't handle anything. So, and that goes back to like life being like a reflection of the way that you see things, I believe. So
I have to check in every day and try to like kind of realign myself. Like I was telling my husband, like, oh, I had to know all the passwords. What if something happens? I was like lining everything up, and which makes sense. You should have those things in order anyway, but they were a little out of date. But
right.
There's a part of me that wants to be organized in case the event that something there's a dire outcome, but there's a part of me that wants to F it.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely a balance between all that. But yeah, it's all you got to do is live and die, right? Spirit always tells me, like when I'm getting in my head or too stressed out about things, it's like they're like point A to point B. That's it. Everything in between is optional.
If you guys would have known me before my transplant, when I was in the military, I'm a completely different person today than I was then. No, you wouldn't have liked me. A lot of people probably didn't like me because I was high strung. I mean, it's just that environment you're in anyway. I mean, I was stressed out, all the time. And it took literally going through what I did to finally realize it ain't fucking worth it. It really, and I'm not exaggerating, really who I am now to there. I'm completely different. Yeah, I can snap and my fuse can get lit pretty easy still, pretty quickly, but stuff that used to annoy me and I could not let things go. I'm surprised I didn't have an ulcer. That's probably what a lot of, exacerbated my kidney, calling it quits, was the stress. I had the disease, but high blood pressure, stress, and all that. And literally afterwards, I'm like, you wake up from something like that and you go, wow, I got a second chance. Fuck it.
Right.
Literally.
And that
got your motorcycle, I started worried about you, and here you are like thousands of miles away in North Dakota. I'm like, he's got a motorcycle. I'm like, stop it, Amy. He's not your child. He's not your brother. He's gonna have fun.
Oh my gosh. I mean, do you think that it's interesting what you were saying? Because I think that's where some people get lost in that, is that because like, so what you experienced before, you had a high stress job and it was the culture that sort of created created who you were. And, I think that's that kind of like the whole, like, we kill ourselves to make money, but then we will, like, how does that go? But then we'll spend all of our money to get ourselves back. Like we sacrifice our health for money, but then, you know what I mean? And I mean, in your situation, it's military, I get it, but I was in the same situation, and that's when I had my awakening. I quit my job, and it was not well received by the company that I quit, and there was a lot of judgment, and there was no logical reason. I was like, well, maybe it's postpartum. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I was trying to justify that I'm not the same person I was before, but it turns out, like, I had panic attacks, the same thing. Like, I felt like I don't want to live my life like this. I'm not selling my
That's
soul.
how it was.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I stayed on, after 20 years, I stayed on as a civilian with the Air Force for another 5 years. And I thought it was going to be different, that, I'm no longer in the military. I'm just a worker now.
Mm-hmm.
But I was still in that environment, and I could not separate myself, and I could not avoid being sucked into everything else. And after it was about 4 years into that, I was like, I got to get out of here. And that fifth year, I finally quit. I'm like, I got to get away from this environment. I just can't do it anymore, because it's the same. And this is, after my transplant. So there was again, it was like, this ain't worth it. I just went through like hell. Why am I still here? Why am I still putting up with the same crap? And I was like, no, I'm done.
Right. And I think that is, to me, is what we're all going through on a larger scale, the kind of the gifts of chaos and those things that, while that experience wasn't ideal for you, it informed you of your future and who you don't want to be and who you do want to be.
Yeah.
And I think, I think that's, you have to experience that, because like, I think I've finally got my husband to understand this. He tries to, like, I don't know, tell my girls, like, if you just did it this way, then you would know. Like, I experienced, but I'm like, they have to experience it for themselves, because you telling me, I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, that sucked, but I don't have any real understanding of what you went through. You do, because you went through it. And so it really builds that character. And I always feel like it's better to know what you don't want to do and experience that hardship, so that you can really, it forms your future. And I think we're doing that on a larger scale with all these things, family, things that we just maybe took for granted in the past, and like things that we thought were important. It's like every day I'm just so thankful for my house and my family, and you know what I mean? Like, it's my sanctuary. So
yeah. People are gonna, like, we experienced our shift, earlier. I wonder if people are gonna be experiencing a shift now.
Oh, there's a lot of people that are kind of going through things that, and they're talking about, I can see them talking about it out loud. I was like, oh, I get it. I mean, it's welcome to the club. You know what I mean? It's like, welcome aboard. It's going to be a fun ride. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's going to be better in the end, but boy, it feels rough.
I know. Yeah. There'll be some nausea along the way, but you'll be okay. So yeah, it's definitely an experience. And
a little bit.
Yeah. So anyway,
but it's usually not just a gentle, hey, this is where you're going. It's kind of like, what the fuck just happened? You know? I mean, that's how it was for me. I mean, you guys know my story, and that's literally how it was. It's like, one day I'm normal. The next day, my sister, who died 2 months ago, standing in my kitchen with me, and I'm like, what the hell's going on?
I know.
Did you say one day you were normal?
I know. When is that?
Normal.
I just had to put that in there just because I love you. That's all.
That's funny. Yeah, it's it's crazy. It's, the whole ride is very crazy, but and I think that it kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week. It's one of those things that we all have an awakening, but it's to what extent do you show up in the world and use those gifts? Because not everyone's going to use them the same, and but it becomes bigger than you. It's like you would you would do whatever you had to do to make that happen. And that's when you know that your calling cards come up. I remember very distinctly the moment where I was like, I'm giving my life to serve in a different way. And I remember driving to work, and it was a conversation with God, and never forget the exact moment that it was like, all right. And I was like, and I felt like if I gave myself in that way, that I would have to like forsake, like go on a mission and like forsake my family. And I was like, and it was like, it's not like that. But I truly in my mind thought, okay, well, like, what does this look like going forward? And it integrated very nicely. And I think I'm better, serving. When I serve others, I serve myself, and I'm better for my family and everything as a result. So it's the gifts that keep giving.
Yeah, it keeps giving, all right.
Yep.
In several different ways, yeah, for sure. So yeah, so do you guys want to jump in some readings? And are you guys good with that?
Yeah.
Any other things you want to get off your chest, or
Don't open that door for me.
Oh my gosh, I know, it's like you were saying, like, don't touch your face, and I swear, like, it finally went away, but I was like, oh my god, my face actually itches right now.
Well, do you notice, like, when, I don't know about you, Michael, because you're just so different, like, you seem to be much more hardy than the average medium, but I know that when spirits here, I'm itching.
Wait.
Hey, what is that?
Hardy.
Well, you're not as, you don't feel all that other stuff like we do, which is nice. I wish I could dial it down a little bit. I try to dial it down, it just doesn't work. But I mean, I'll start itching when I know that my aura is expanded and I know spirits close by, and it's like,
Hi, Mimi. Sorry.
You think that you'd have like bugs crawling all over you or cobwebs.
Oh, maybe that I feel that, but I just thought because I don't have any hair that I just, I don't know. Maybe I just did walk through a cobweb.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. That's awesome. All right, let's see. You guys want to jump in? Can you guys see the chats? I can read them for you.
No, I can see it.
Oh, you can see it? Okay, perfect. Okay, so
that's why I yelled, "Hey, Mimi," because it's.
Oh, okay, got it. All right.
Oh, is it for Mimi?
Yep.
Oh, Mimi. Yeah, hi, Mimi. Oh, wow. Gosh, wow, long time in Canada. Yeah.
We're going live in our student group next Sunday.
Oh, cool.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. Let's see. All right, Chill's good. Yep. And then Melissa. Hi, Melissa. Let's see here. All right. I'm gonna go down the list here. All right. Okay, so Cassidy, if I get that, Cassidy, I might say that wrong. I apologize. I feel like I have problems with that one. EXO, I'll just say EXO. She's saying my grandma Ethel is in hospice. Does she have any messages for me? She has the virus. And it's weird because I feel like last time, Amy, that we were connecting, I was getting like an Esther or Ethel. I don't remember, but yeah, anyways, it was weird because it kind of perked when I saw that, I'm like, wow, okay. Is she, I don't know if you guys are getting anything. I'm just kind of getting information that's coming in right now, but EXO, is she not, I'm seeing 92 or 93. I don't know if she's 92 now and gonna be 93. I'm not sure what that is. Do you know how old she is?
Let's see that.
Let's see. Let me I'll kind of tune in here. As I'm waiting for there's a little bit of a delay there, but I'm getting around the age of like early 90s. And so I don't know if that's maybe answering one of your questions, depending on where she's at right now. But I have to just tell you what I'm seeing. She's showing me it's almost like a picket fence with flowers, like the feeling of like having the flowers and having that sort of connection there. I feel like she's showing me a lot of flowers right now. And it's just a feeling of, this is really interesting, but you know, where someone can almost like physically go somewhere and they like in their mind and it creates a sense of peace for them. That's what I'm seeing with her. It's almost like she has this place that she holds sacred to her, and she just goes there, and it's like her little like garden of Eden or something. It's kind of what I'm seeing with her. So I don't know if that makes sense, or if you're still on here, but that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if you guys are getting anything for her.
Yeah, I don't see that in the chat. Maybe.
See, I've only been connected with my mother-in-law when she was after her stroke, so she was still living. So I don't have much experience communicating with somebody who's in a, you know, that state to where they're not conscious but they're still living.
Okay. Yeah, like if they're, have you ever, like if somebody's like Alzheimer's, have you ever?
I don't think I've ever tried.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it just happens on accident.
It is, and it's kind of weird because like they're still alive, and it's like,
yeah,
like,
well, that's how it was with my mother-in-law when she showed up.
Yeah.
You know, when, you know, in the middle of the night, my wife wasn't here, and all of a sudden I'm feeling my mother-in-law. She's giving me a message about, you know, to pass along to the girls, and I'm like, you know, and they validated it. So I was like, well, that was the first, you know, that was an experience.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I've had a few where they have Alzheimer's, and they'll communicate things that are relevant to what's going on in life that they're not even aware that they're seeing. So in many ways, it's kind of, at first I felt bad, but I was like, no, they can communicate with, I mean, that it is what it is, right? Like they're just
and the thing is, as we're talking, is she still on?
I don't know. I don't see.
Cassidy, are you still on?
EXO. I don't see that she might not be on. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple other things. I'll wait if she comes back. Well,
I've got a couple other things, but
I know
this gal. I actually have a Siberian Husky here.
Oh, interesting.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anyone anyone connect with a Husky that maybe has?
You don't have a whole lot of people here either.
Yeah.
You know.
There might be someone coming in later. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm sorry, EXO. Hopefully you come back on, and if we don't catch you, just shoot me an email. I'm sorry that she has the virus. Yeah, it's let me see here. Friends having emotional meltdowns. Stressing is not good either. That's absolutely right. There's nothing, you know, let go, let God, right? Whatever your mantra is there, whatever you can do to kind of get through things there. And your love story and fire. Hi. Thanks for joining. And then my ascension and light. Hello. Yes. Let's see here. Okay. And then okay, so Melissa, do you have any messages for me? Let's see, I don't know if you guys are tuning in, but Melissa, there's something, and I don't know if you're currently, they're bringing up a man that's on the side of you, and I don't know if you're currently coupled or if there's a separation in a relationship, but they're bringing up something regarding a relationship. It's to the side of you. I don't know if that makes sense. Are you currently in a relationship, or is there a little bit of a distance or separation? Let me see. Oh, there's a couple people that had a Husky, Amy.
Okay.
Husky or a Akita. Yeah, Akita, and then a Keyshawn. Separate.
I don't think it's an Akita. I mean, I don't know what a Keyshound is, but if it's a Nordic type dog, the Husky would be close, but a Husky cross. Yeah, it's a big Husky. Barely, a little short of breath towards the end. He was winded. Sorry, I interrupted you. It's hard when we're like.
No, that's okay. No, because I was waiting for Melissa to respond, and she's okay. So she's saying she's been in separation for 3 weeks now.
Oh, wow.
Okay. This is, so Melissa, with you, I am acknowledging some of the things that you've been going through with your partner here, and the fact that there's some spirit, they're making me feel like on both sides, there's, how do you say this? You know, when like, there's like an impasse and like, neither one of you wants to be wrong, so you're both right in your own way, like you're in your lane, and there's a feeling of not kind of coming together there. And so I feel like there's an impasse in terms of the relationship. But I do feel like there's an opportunity for things to come back together, but it really the guards have to be pulled down. They have to, there's a little bit of, it's almost like the ego is stronger than anything right now. So if you want that opportunity, but there's still lessons in that. So again, this feels like one of those situations where it's really, there's the free will and the choice that plays out, but there's something in that experience with that relationship that needs to be learned. And if you sidestep that, then I feel like it's going to come back in a different form. And so they're telling me there's an opportunity to break a cycle through the relationship. But again, it has to be both parties. It's co-creating together. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm seeing around that. And so there's something about this literal separation, but then the separation on the larger scale that you're being put through, that is an opportunity for you to kind of work through some of those dynamics from the past and things that are coming up as well. And then I'm also, just really quickly, there's a grandfather that's passed over that's coming in for you as well. So he's giving you just support, and just kind of, for whatever reason, I feel like this might be your father's father, but he's stepping in as well. So he's just giving you love there. It makes perfect sense. And I'm doing a lot of work on myself. That's perfect. Okay. So again, Melissa, free will, choice, it's entirely up to you, but just be gentle on yourself. And then when you're gentle on yourself, that unfolds to others. And so you'll see that.
Oh wait, Melissa's the one with the dog too.
Yeah, she has a dog.
Oh, okay. Well, no wonder the dog's showing up. Okay.
Yeah.
It's her companion who's with her right now because she's on the separation. So so of course our spirit, critters will show up. They're always here, but they'll show up really strongly when we need them the most.
Yeah.
Just have comfort in that.
Does the dog have a message for her? Because I know, like, I don't know, sometimes when you get the dog, like, it's funny, it's almost like I've experienced where dogs come in and they're almost like childlike. They're very like, hi, I like the toy that you gave me.
Like, they do. With this dog, I feel like there's a tremendous thank you for so much love and, so much kindness. And I feel like she was just very patient with him. And I think it's a him. Sometimes I get the sex mixed up with animals. Let's see here. Yeah, I just think he's just here to just show you how much you are loved. And even though when we feel alone right now in these times, that we really are not alone. So know that he's there. I do have a gentleman here though. You don't, unless you guys, Michael, you haven't had a chance to go, but
go ahead.
I feel like he's I don't know the relationship quite here yet, but he's really intelligent, and I feel like there's military, like he may have served some time, not long term in the service, but he had done some military time. And I don't know if he's in the Navy, because I want to go down in the bowels of a ship. I don't know, and I feel like I'm working on the mechanics of the ship, like I'm dealing with dials and knobs, like an engineer of some sort here. He feels very intelligent, but he also has a little bit of I feel like when he left the military, he had an ordinary job. I don't know what it is here, but he's hang on, he's so smart that he's kind of dingy. That makes sense. Kind of like the absent-minded professor. And I'm interested to find out if he was a professor of some sort later, if anybody can take that. So we'll just wait for them to catch up, and I'll just keep tuning in.
Yeah. See if that makes sense for anyone. Are you getting anything else, Mike, on anything?
Or you?
Okay. All right.
I've kind of been waiting just for you guys to do your thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Where are you guys at right now? Because I'm just kind of zoning.
Let's see. Okay, so I think Doesn't ring any bells. My mom's dad was in the Army. Okay.
Yeah, I think I've moved on to someone else though. That somebody.
Okay, there might be someone else coming forward. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say that he at one point he'd had a guitar. I don't know that he was really proficient. It's interesting because I keep looking at Michael's guitars here, but I don't think it's that kind of guitar. I think it's more the acoustic guitar. I don't know if he played it or he liked to listen to it, but he really didn't do much with it. But he at least tinker around with it. He's so smart; he can learn anything, but he just didn't stick with stuff. I can't figure out who he is yet.
Interesting. Let me see if anyone. Not yet. I wonder that Takesha is saying, does Spirit have any messages for me?
It usually helps if you ask something more specific than just the general, do they have a message?
Yeah.
At least for me.
Yeah. Because yeah, you're right. You'll tend to get general messages there. But Takesha, would you be aware of there's a female in spirit that I feel like is stepping forward for you. I don't know if this is your mom or your grandmother. If it's not your mom, it'd be your mom's mom. Would you understand this? She just came in really strong, and she's a very strong-minded person. Just a lot of personality, but very matter of fact. Does that make sense? We'll just have to wait a moment. It's a little slow on the delay there.
Yeah, she's a bit sassy too. Sorry, I'm linking in. I couldn't help it.
No, that's good. I know that's something I can. Yeah, I was like, whoa, she just popped right in. So I don't know if I think she's got something to say. That's for sure. Let me see here. Yeah, it's still a little bit of a delay there. Okay. Yeah, we'll wait a moment. Yeah, I think that's. Oh, sorry. Are you getting something else?
I don't. Maybe you'll know this, Mike. I don't know. Maybe that's what. Submarine. I'm getting this. Maybe it's not a ship. Maybe it's a submarine here. I keep hearing. Now I'm hearing that song. We all live in a yellow submarine, which is interesting. He's like, no, get it right.
Oh, that's funny.
That's interesting.
Maybe it's someone for Mike. I don't. Does that make sense to you? No, you didn't know anyone.
Anybody you work with?
In a sub or Navy? No.
Interesting. Okay. Let me see here. Yeah, so EXO hasn't, I don't see her response from earlier. And then Keisha, I don't know if you're still on, but I do have a female here I feel like is connected to you. So I don't know if that makes sense or just a little bit of a delay here.
Delay tonight, isn't there?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are on right now with.
Yeah.
It's
kind of delay everything.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that lately. So okay, all right. Well, if we don't get that answer, that's fine. I'm just gonna try to give you what she's making me feel in terms of what she wants to communicate. So regardless of so this female that's coming forward, I also feel like she's here with she's coming in with a couple other parents. I feel like this, I don't know if this would be her parents or what this is, but she's bringing them forward. She's someone who would have organized things. It's funny because I know that we've got Easter coming up, but I feel like she would have gathered people around and gotten them all together for certain events. And she's making me feel like, let me see here. It's funny because she's even shown, like, I don't know if church was like back in the day or something, if she would have gone to church or what this is, but it feels like there might even be like a Baptist energy of something from that area, like something like that. But she's making me feel like the feeling of being organized, but also like kind of like what we were talking about earlier, being organized, but not to the extent that you're stressed out about you having to be a certain place. Because she's like, come on, guys, come on, like gathering these people. But then she's also like, we're there, so like, it's fine. And so I know that seems a bit cryptic, but she's making me feel like I don't know if you're in this place where the feeling of having to be in a certain place in your life and you're not there yet or wanting to be there, but she's just telling me like, it's okay. Like we're all going together and there's not, you're not going to get left behind. There's that, like, that's the biggest thing. You're not going to get left behind. So I just feel like that more than anything. Don't know what that as it relates to in terms of family or what that is, but that's what I feel like she has for you. So if that makes sense to Keisha, that's what I'm getting, but there's definitely this female energy that's coming forward. So
when you said like the Baptist or something, I just heard hallelujah. Like, oh
yeah.
wow, this lady had a voice. I don't know if you can
Yeah,
see her. She's like,
definitely
praise God. She's like, this is like, ooh. I feel like she's like, the Lord is risen. Like this woman would go to church and she would like getting people, like you said, like she getting people together and organizing things was simpler for her. I think it was no big deal.
Yeah, totally. Yep. Yeah, definitely. Let me see here. And we've got, let's see. And Marcy says, I've never been scared to be alone, but the other night I was sure I felt there was someone in the living room. I checked out the house and no one was there. Any thoughts? So I don't know if you guys have experienced that. And I know I've sent you guys videos of my geeking out of my orbs and whatnot.
Oh, it's great. I got my camera now.
You just went there, okay? So I've got in my little babe cave, I've got my, my ways.
Wait, what? What did you call it?
Yeah, I sure did.
Did you say babe cave?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Now she's gonna want one.
Yeah, I know. I even got one of those full fireplaces. Okay, so it's like, yeah.
Sheila's getting a she shed.
Oh wow, lucky her.
I know. I'm like, technically mine's not because it's in the house, so it's not a shed, but it's my babe cave. So yeah, but that's awesome. So anyway, so yeah, so the energy is, I have so many videos, especially like after I'll do like a session or something, or if I'm in here, I feel the energy. And the thing I've been doing, and this is kind of along the lines of what she was asking, is, I'm a trust but verify, I'm a skeptic. And so, but I'm aware of the energy that I feel. And so I sometimes will sort of sit in the room and just to test it out and like, oh, wow. Like if my heart, that kind of the palpitation, because it's a sensitivity when I know that they're coming close to me. And I started to get to the point where I would call out like, ooh, I feel something over here. And an orb will shoot by and I have it on camera to where I see it. And like on my head, I'm like, okay, I feel something here. And sure enough, an orb will shoot out of my head. And now I'm just like, I know what that is. And so but that's where kind of going back to your question that you were asking, Marcy, to me, that's you're feeling energy. That's what that is. They're all around us all the time. And I think sometimes we take that for granted and we don't realize, wow, they really are around us. And so honor that. And so you can do as much for as little as you want with that. You can set up you can geek out like me and set up a camera and do your own little, adventures or whatever, or you can just acknowledge what that is and just ask like, who are you? Like, what's going on? And I think a lot of times when it's kind of like what we're going through right now. It's unseen and it's scary and we don't know what this is. And, but that's,
you just can't be frightened of it. They're around us. They're around us all the time, whether you realize it or not.
Oh yeah.
As much as I said, don't show up in my bedroom at night, they do. I'll see spirit walking in front of my bed. I'll wake up, I'll see people above my bed floating above me. And I don't want to say I'm numb to it now, but now it just doesn't shock me anymore because I know they're not there to do anything bad. They're just there.
Yeah.
And I don't,
this past week.
And I don't engage with them. So I don't know who they may be guides. They may be people that I've known. I don't know. I'm like, I'm sleeping now. You're there. Fuck off right now. I'm sleeping.
Don't bother me while I'm getting my Z's.
Oh.
That's awesome. Yep. Yeah. And that's really how you have to approach it. I think that's kind of like what we were talking at the beginning, it's like, don't take it so seriously. And Yeah.
See, I get fearful of palpitations. I think I'm having a heart attack. Maybe it's just spirit.
Yeah.
I am getting older, so it's like that fine
Well,
line.
yeah, you have to check in with. Yeah, I know, right? No, it's interesting because that's kind of when I was talking about when I quit my job and those panic attacks I was having. I was being pushed away. I was like, it was like the, oh my gosh, but it was the anxiety. I thought it was anxiety, but it was more of like, this isn't your home anymore. You need to move on. And so
Yeah, that's the feeling I had too when I was time to leave. It's like you're done here.
yep.
I felt when I was getting bitter. I always watched those people get bitter in their careers, and I was always aware of that. And I'm like, I always said, if I get to that point where I become that person, it's time to leave. And it was like a moment of clarity where like, I am turning into this person, time for me to go. I don't care what it costs, it's time for me to go.
Right.
I would just switch departments, get some new fresh blood to work with. And then after 30 years, I'm like, there's no more departments for me. It's just time to go do something else. But I don't know how it's amazing how you just, the same job. It's like,
oh yeah, the monotony. Yeah, for sure. Let me see here. And I think a bunch of messages just came in. I don't know if it caught up to itself or what, but ER said my dad served on a U-boat as a cook, though. I don't know if that
a U-boat.
That's a Navy ship.
Oh, okay. So we got that part. Navy ship. Cooks would have dials. I just feel like this guy.
Oh, might be the dials there.
Feels like he was super smart. Like he did something that really he had to think in his job later on as well. I don't know if that would make sense. If I could just reconnect here.
Yeah, and while you're doing that here, let me see, Melissa. I looks like it. Thanks, guys. Do you have any messages for my friend Jude, who's also watching this right now? Jude. I don't know if you're getting anything, Mike. I'm
not for her, but Takesha. And I kept feeling this woman here, and I didn't know who it was connected to, but I think it's Takesha because you're asking your mom. And I had a female earlier. Mm-hmm. I don't know if this makes any sense with you, Takesha, but were you putting in a light bulb today or something? Because the woman that was here was showing me like her daughter. I saw a woman putting a light bulb in, and either the light bulb broke or something, because this female was laughing about it. So she was having fun watching this happen. So if this connects to you, maybe I can go a little bit further into it, but that's what I'm seeing right now. So I don't know if that makes sense to you or not. And it doesn't necessarily have to be today. It could have been recently, but I think she's trying to share something.
Okay, let's see if that makes sense.
I'm connecting more now, and now I'm feeling diabetes with this woman.
Me too.
Because I'm feeling that she went into a diabetic coma and didn't come out of it. So I don't know if that's how your mother passed, but that's what I'm feeling with this woman that's here.
I think she said it was a car accident or something. Maybe there's another.
Mimi. He put in a new light bulb today.
Ding ding. Yeah, I think my gentleman is not with ERGs. I think, but let me tune in because it could be like somebody for you, but not him. He could be bringing somebody else in.
Yeah. And Michael, I ordered some bulbs yesterday.
No, this is I'm sitting. This is definitely somebody was joking with somebody trying to put in a light bulb today. So Mimi was doing that. So maybe I'll come back to Mimi in a second.
Yeah.
With that
and
one.
Then, Takesha's saying, yes, my family is really into the church. Yeah. Is it Baptist or something? I mean, I got a strong like Southern Baptist or something connection there. Let me see. It's a rare.
You guys carry on. Thanks, Mimi.
That's awesome. Let me see here. Let me go back up to Jude because I was getting something for Jude too. I know Amy, you're tuning in. I feel like for Jude, I feel like they're talking about something with a career or something changing there. I feel like there's going to be something that you were doing that's going to be changing. It's going to be, I don't know if there's kind of some concerns around that or what that is. I mean, I think, you know, given the current culture, but this is something different. It's almost like you're going to be going back, but it's going to look different. So it's almost like you're going back to something you were doing before or something, but it's going to be more on your terms is what I'm seeing. And so it feels around the finances and the job situation. And so I don't know if Jude, if you're currently working or what this is, but I do feel like there's something about going back. So I don't know if you're furloughed or what's going on, but I definitely see coming back around to it. But it's almost like there's a perspective that gives you, it's like, it's kind of like we were talking about at the beginning where it's like, it wasn't quite working for you, but you go back and do it on your own terms. So that's what I'm seeing around that. Definitely something around the finances and the job situation. Okay.
With ERGs, would the name Joe, Joe in spirit mean anything for you? A male Joe, like Joe.
Brandy Wine 666. Yes, lots of changes. Is that Jude? I wonder. Is that must be Jude? Okay. Yeah. And I keep staring at that name, and for some reason there's a male energy on the other side that's coming forward and giving you a thumbs up. I'm not sure what that is, but I feel like things are going to be okay. Like there's the question is it going to be okay? And I'm seeing the thumbs up for things okay. So okay, Joe was dad. Oh, okay. So wait, are you Amy also?
I guess I thought I was still with ERGs, but I guess they're all here.
I think it's, yeah, because I was just, I was seeing a man with a thumbs up and you said, it was right after you said Joe. So it must be Joe.
Okay. It's so weird how we're all going like this and they're all going like that too. It's kind of fascinating. I'm actually learning something tonight about this whole connection here.
The process. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe was dad. Okay.
Oh, that's funny. Are we going to double link here or triple link maybe?
I don't know. I don't know that I have this guy on the boat anymore. I don't know that it was for ERGs. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna like have him just kind of like step aside. I'm not sending him away. I just kind of want to like.
Yeah.
I think he's bringing someone else in.
Okay. This guy that's giving me the thumbs up right now, I feel like he's stepping forward and he's acknowledging. It's funny. I don't know if he's kind of pointing to his belly. Like, I don't know if he would have had a beer belly or a little bit of a gut, but he's a funny guy. Like, I just feel like he's kind of a funny guy. He's not making me feel like he was very polished. He was very like, he was just kind of a light-hearted energy, I feel like. And so that's kind of the guy that I'm getting for you. I feel like Brandy Wine, this is for you. And yeah, he's just kind of a lighthearted energy, and he's just kind of saying, relax, like it's okay, it's gonna be okay. And so and then I don't know if there would be a sister that you have as well, or there's a female to the side that he's acknowledging as well, that there's another female where you need to kind of get past some differences or get along a little bit better, but he's kind of joking around about that, like, focus on that relationship. So I don't know if this is a friend or a sister or like a mother, but I'm going off to the side for you. So it's the feeling of kind of connecting the two of you. He wants the connection to come back together there. So, yeah, let's see. Okay. Are you getting anything? Are you guys getting anything else?
I can't. It's hard for me to do like the jumping around. I have to connect with one person and go.
Okay, gotcha.
I know. That's what I thought I was doing too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I know the spirit was just showing me something. That's all.
Oh, okay. I know. I'm a little, see, this is what we were talking about last time, Amy. I'm all over the place.
I am too with the layers though. I think they're showing.
I know.
I don't know if I'm still, this is Joe or with, I almost wish I knew people's real names. I know that it shouldn't matter, but it almost would help me. But I want to say if there's someone in the family that has like a dyslexia of some sort, or some sort of there's something going on with like words getting all scrambled up here.
Interesting. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, I don't see. It's the for some reason the things aren't coming in that quickly. Let's see. And then Takesha, no, but I need to change a light bulb in my bathroom because it keeps flashing. That's funny, but the bulbs. It's the bulbs. Now everything's gonna be about bulbs. Are you gonna post something, Mike, about a bulb, like in like the?
I never got a validation before if I was with her mom or not, because the one that passed from diabetic complications.
Oh,
I never got a yes or no on that, so
Yeah,
I was kind of waiting for that from her.
I think she was her mom had passed from a car accident, but
I missed that. Okay.
Yeah, but I think you said you thought that there was a part of the reason for the motor vehicle accident was the incident with like the blood sugar or something, correct? Is that what you thought?
Who said that? I didn't.
Oh, it's okay. You were in the zone. Something with diabetes and the mom.
Yeah, but I didn't see a car accident. So that wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's all right. I just trying to keep up here with the comments.
Okay. And brandy wine all makes sense to me. Okay. I think that Amy, that Joe was for Brandy. Yeah, her dad. And that's probably who you're reading there. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try to stick with one.
I know, spirits all over the place. I'm a little, I guess, yeah. It's like with me, because I have like my kids and they're always like, you remember? And it's just like, so I'm like, oh, hear that. So I have to be like all over the place. So it's definitely a little ADD for sure. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay.
So Takesha just said yes, it is, but I'm not sure what yes it is.
Oh, she's saying it's Baptist.
Wow,
yeah.
We have a huge delay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely got that Baptist. That's very cool. Okay.
I'm wondering with Mel P, says I have a friend with dyslexia going through a tough time. If this gentleman who was on the submarine might be for your friend, because it didn't feel like it was someone in the group. I wonder if it's like you're going to be the messenger for somebody, that there's somebody with your friend with dyslexia that's having a difficult time, that there's someone in spirit they would know who was this highly intelligent man who was in the Navy, maybe worked underneath or in the bowels of the ship, and was like an engineer type. And because I don't think you were on earlier when I gave this message, I gave this description of this gentleman. Mimi. She says something that tells us to carry on. She's cracking me up. Okay.
Her grandma was diabetic, and I put in a new bulb.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, you're with Mimi then.
Oh wow, yeah.
So Mimi, I got to be with you then, Mimi. I knew I had the grandmother here. It was just so. Let me just work with Mimi then for a second.
Okay. Okay, well,
all right. So Mimi, what can you validate so far? Did your grandmother pass from diabetes or complications from diabetes then? Because what I'm feeling is she didn't want to do the shots. I'm feeling like she did not want to do the injections. Also, Mimi, she's very stubborn, is what I'm getting. Like she would hide candy because she showed me the candy. So I'm seeing that she wasn't very compliant with her diabetes. She keeps going back to the light bulb. She just wants to tease you about that. So I don't know if there was something that you did. Did you have balance issues when you were trying to get up on to put the light bulb in? I don't know. She keeps going back to the light bulb. She's for some reason, she's finding that humorous for you. So,
Funny.
Maybe I hope you don't mind me digging in with this, but she wants to acknowledge that she's proud of what you're doing right now, as far as like dealing with your anxiety and getting the help that you're getting or you got. But she's so happy that you're clear. That's how she's putting it to me. She's like clear. She's just very happy to see you happy that you're actually found something that kind of rekindled, I don't know, your spirit, for lack of better words, with something besides spiritualism and spirit work that you do. I mean, I already know your situation that you're going to school, but that's what she's referencing, that she's really happy to see you happy again. I also feel that maybe she didn't tell you during life what she felt or how she felt. I'm just getting a sense of that, but she wants to just say that she's proud of you now. So I'll just leave it at that, because I feel that that's where she wants to end it, because there is other people waiting, but she wanted to get that message out.
That's nice.
There you go, Mimi. I knew there was somebody here with the diabetes because I couldn't shake it. So
that was good. You stuck with it. Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
All right. That's the only way I could funk. I have to like, boom.
No,
Yeah.
That was good lesson for all of us.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's kind of that definitely we all kind of work in a different way, and I think whatever, that's where you have to honor whatever works for you, and knowing that, and you're really good about that too. That's what, we were talking about that at the beginning, where how you are, there's something about even just reading around you you have a grounded energy about it, because I feel like I'm still I get kind of scattered, and like, there's times where I will read for people and they all will come in and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's over. I think, I don't know, like it's part of my
really strict boundary though with them.
Right.
It's like one at a time. And Mimi's funny because she just said I did the happy dance when the bulb worked. So okay. And I've been having balance issues. So yeah, good stuff. Okay.
Careful.
So, I think she was poking more fun at the happy dance thing because there was something about the light bulb. She was having just a laugh about that. So okay, makes sense now.
Oh, it's so amazing how
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but yeah, it's just I think when I first started, it was like that. They would just bombard me, and it was like, no, it's like I'm gonna listen to you guys, but you're gonna come at me one at a time, or I'm just gonna ignore you. So that's it.
No,
and it was an ultimatum for more than, really, it's what it was. It was like, nope.
Well, it makes sense too. I'm sorry, Heather, really quick, with your air traffic control job too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're like, boom, one at a time. I'm sure you've got several of them lined up on different runways and in queue and who you're going to go to where, but one at a time. So it makes sense. Whereas a nurse, I was juggling 1,000 things at once and all these different people at the same time. And so proud that I could multitask, but.
Yeah, that's very true. That's interesting. Yeah, I can see that as well, because I definitely, there's been times, and that's what I kind of tell people. It's almost like sometimes, depending on how many people someone has on the other side, when I go in to do a reading, I'm like whoa, and I'm aware of them, but it's like, I always kind of say, like going to a party where you walk in a room and whoa, the room's packed. It's like, I can't talk to all of you at the same time. I need to focus on one of you. So I'm consciously aware of all of them, but I have to say who has the greatest need, step forward, because I can't talk to all of you. So yeah. You're right. It is really around that discipline sometimes, but yeah, sometimes I cast a large net.
Yeah.
It's what we were talking about at the beginning, right? Like trying to try to be all things to all people. It's like, that's part of where we struggle, and that's not a good thing. Like that's part of it's simplification of life is really what we need to do. And so, yeah, no, I think that's good.
I really quickly, can I go to Mel P, because she said that made sense. And I think that for this person that's having some issues with the dyslexia, if you were there earlier when I mentioned that this gentleman showed me a guitar. So I wonder if the dyslexia, if there's some sort of music therapy or doing some sort of music will help this person that's dealing with the dyslexia. Makes sense why he brought that guitar now.
Oh yeah, interesting.
Yes, because there's different ways to learn, and sometimes that standard, go to school and learn everything by memorization isn't going to work for everybody. Right. But the music may be something that kind of boosts them along and boosts their self-esteem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Very cool. All right. Are you good? Do you want to do any more? Are you getting something, that look on your eyes?
No, I was looking at Melissa's. She asked, how can you learn to tune spirit out? If you're not familiar with me, I keep things so easy and so basic and so simple because that's just how I function. I have to keep things simple. Literally, for me, spirit is like a kid. I can ignore, like when my daughter was, living here, I could ignore her and tune her out. Literally, that's how it is with spirit. It's literally like I have to pay attention to them. I have to just shift my awareness and pay attention to them when I'm ready to work. When I'm not working, I don't really realize what's going on around me. That's the way I am. So unless I pay attention, they're already tuned out. So it's kind of like I have to put my awareness there and say, okay, I'm ready to work. And then I pay attention and see who's there. And then I let them, come forward with their messages. So that's just for me. People, their sensitivity levels vary really from person to person. So that's just my experience.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone has a little bit difference there. Yeah, I think that's it on the questions then. I think we've got, unless you guys are getting anyone else that you want to.
Let me just
maybe try to get another one.
Just scrolling back through these comments, but
yeah, I know. I feel like sometimes I can't keep up with them. Let's see. Okay. And it seems like they don't come in. It's weird. Like one will come in.
Oh, did you see this?
What's that?
Brand. Oh, Brandy Wine. I have a friend with dyslexia, struggled through school, but great musician.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that just shows you how spirit's here for more than one person. Like they're just going to get that message out to everyone here.
Yeah, definitely. Any other? Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we've got. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any.
All right. Okay, you guys, it's the freaking weekend, so we gotta go.
I get to work tomorrow morning. It's not my weekend till Sunday.
Well, I hope you had a good Friday.
I did.
Good. Well, thank you guys. It was so fun.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to do it again sometime, and it's good just to get out there and connect with people. So I definitely enjoy doing that. So, and you guys
Definitely.
So, all right. Well, everyone have a good night. Happy Easter if you partake.
Yeah.
And have a good weekend.
Be safe.
All
So
right.
you kick us off at the same time you end the broadcast, or can you do that separate?
No, I'll end it and then it should, yeah, you can stay on. It'll still.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All right. Bye.
Yeah.